This is kind of a more of a appreciation letter for the developers. I already started my 4th playthrough of the game. It's very rare that I'm actually doing this in a game, but this is because I enjoy this game so much. Now there's one special thing that, again, there's so many things to talk about. One special thing is, it's about the lighting. And you can actually see it in many different footages that I actually extracted from some of my gameplay videos. And you can see that the lighting is lots of volumetric lighting or fog, but basically they added volume to the lighting. You can see it just fills up the room, and in many places it's like that. There's no ray tracing, yet again the effects feels very realistic, look very realistic. And I think this is one of the things, alongside other things, that leads to a very high sense of immersion, presence. And also it really fits the name of the game, Clair Obscur, which in French term means light dark. And this is the equivalent of the Italian artistic term Chiaroscuro. And basically it's also a name of a technique which is primarily used in painting and drawing and other visual arts to create strong contrast between light and dark areas. And there are different reasons this is used. A few of them is to create a sense of volume and three-dimensionality. It also helps to enhance drama and mood, and also direct the viewer's eye to certain locations. And of course, the other things related to in this game on the grand scale, which I'm not going to mention here, is a bit spoilery. But basically, there's a connection between the two. Even the word lumière, which is a noun, unlike clair, which is an adjective, also refers to light in French. Now, there's even more than that, which is more on the thematic element of the game, where there's a tension between fading life and impending erasure. The difference between the vibrant and void, always this duality of light and dark that serve as a kind of also as a metaphor for the struggles and the world within the game. And this actually opens up more and more the more you discover more things about the game, which I won't discuss here. And you can understand how things basically interlink. And once you understand that, you really fully appreciate even more what the developers have done in this game. Of course, I don't think that would be possible to achieve, at least not to that high degree, without using Unreal Engine 5. And I think that's the reason why they moved to Unreal Engine 5 to really give the lighting such great effect. And I think the different technologies that Unreal Engine 5 has, like Lumen global illumination and nano virtualized geometry, where you can actually really present things with very high detail and also beautiful lighting to really bring this world to life as the developer want players to experience. Things like virtual shadow maps, for example, that provide the high resolution and consistent shadowing that pairs well with the Nanite's digital geometry. So all of that really help immerse players in the game. It helps create a great atmosphere. And if you combine this also with the absolutely spectacular original soundtrack, there's a great harmony between the two, which to that degree that we've seen in this game, it's very rare. And it's not just in certain cutscenes, it's throughout the exploration of the game, whether it's just exploring, whether it's a kind of a high elevation, you get to observe the world, whether it's in combat. It's just amazing, and the soundtrack plays a significant role here. There were so many times in the game that I just paused just to observe, and sometimes it's just so beautiful that you just want to see, listen, and enjoy the moment. And you get the option to do so in this game, of course. And there are many times we can actually see the contrast, the differences between the shadows and light, especially if you play in high graphic settings. It really comes to life. So here are just a few screenshots. Now it's so superbly done that it doesn't look washed out, because the great use of, again, the difference between light and dark, basically the contrast, you still get the atmosphere and also get to see the fine details both in the environment and different things they wanted to highlight. Of course, they also needed to use shallow depth of field to really also help create the dimensionality, the separation, as you can see here. So again, this also helps create a great sense of depth and separation between different elements in the scene, especially when there are lots of this volumetric lighting and volume to the light overall in the scene. And the emotions also presented there when they wanted to show sadness, when they wanted to show happiness or something more dramatic. You immediately feel it because the combination of both, of course, the visuals and the music. And if you combine it with everything else, voice acting, and of course I'm not going to repeat everything here, you get something that is harmonized perfectly together and leads to actually what you see and what you feel when you actually play the game. Like, they pay attention to everything. First of all, the reinforcing of the core Clair Obscur theme, creating dramatic visual impact, establishing beautiful emotional mood and atmosphere, highlighting detail and form, which is crucial. There's so many details here because Unreal Engine 5 and the Nanite technology, because the details are so beautiful in this game, so rich. There are many places where you actually guided because the way the lighting is actually implemented. It grabs your focus and attention. The symbolic representation in the narrative, adding realism and believability to the world. Also combat, by what you see here, of course. Everything with the lighting makes combat visually very engaging. Even the visual effects, which of course you can see here, are just incredible. Everything together with the lighting, just something that needs to be appreciated and praised. Just a spectacular job all across the board, really. This is such a delicate work that can, even a mistake, something that you can easily see. It can easily throw you off, but in this game, of course, it's exactly the opposite. It completely draws you in. So I do kind of hope that the developers will get the recognition from various Game Awards events. Thanks for watching.